without using any workout equipment. Take it away, girls.
Thank you, Taylor. Okay, so with Sarah, with working with her, she does pretty high-level movements. We both do with CrossFit. CrossFit involves combining Olympic weightlifting, like snatches, clean and jerking, front squat, back squat, with gymnastics and endurance exercises. So you get it all. But since Sarah has had multiple surgeries on her ankle, she has a limited ankle range of motion, meaning her foot isn't able to go full range of motion for her to be able to function, especially with Olympic weightlifting. She can function just fine, but when it comes to deep squats, we had to adapt her exercises. So what I did for Sarah was I just bumped up her ankle, her heel, with a 2.5 pound plate. So what that does is, if she can't get proper ankle range of motion because her calf doesn't allow her to get it, I've taken the calf out of the picture and raised up her heel. So now she can go ahead and demonstrate a squat, and she's able to get just about to parallel. Now, still not ideal for an Olympic weightlifting movement. So what we do is we elevate her heels a little bit more. Now this is for Sarah specifically. For those of you that are at home, you may not need to do this because, one, you haven't had 5 ankle surgeries. If you just have a tight heel core, that's another story. Now for Sarah, raising your heel up a little bit more, go ahead and squat, full depth. Can get full range of motion of her hip capsule, therefore keeping it healthy over the long term. And the reason why squatting below parallel is so important is because that's full human capacity of how you should be squatting. And any lift that you do in CrossFit should be done at full human capacity. Everything you do should be done at full human capacity. So with that being said, that is one of the lifts that is kind of the foundational movement, or one of the movements that's the foundation for CrossFit, and if you think about it with life. How often are you picking up things off the ground, picking up kids, picking up laundry baskets, and it should be done with proper form. So normally also, if you'll notice our shoes, they are not elevated in the back. They're not what we call high heels. They're pretty flat. So with Sarah though, ideally you want to lift without a lift in the back of the foot. However, because of her ankle, we had to raise her heel up a little bit. One thing I wanted to show you guys was a mobilization technique for the front of your hip. So we all know that most of America sits at a desk when they work. And so that's what happens when you sit at a desk is your hip flexors, which there's a few of them. You got your psoas, your iliacus, and your rectus femoris can get pretty tight. So what I want to show you guys is something you can do at your home that does not require any equipment at all. And I'm going to show you on this couch or chair. So go ahead. What you're going to do is you're going to take whatever hip feels the most tight. I would recommend doing this to both. If you can do it every hour on the hour, great. And you can also do it against the wall. But you're going to drive, basically put your knee up against the back of the couch, foot elevated, and you're going to sit here and drive your hip forward. And what I would recommend is squeezing your butt at the same time to protect your low back. So right here I'm getting the front of my hip that gets tight and smashed when you're sitting all day long and helps open you up. Now, the next segment to this is I'm going to squeeze my butt, bring my foot back towards the chair, my front foot, and elevate my torso upward. So keep squeezing my butt to protect my low back, and I'm getting a nice stretch through now my quad. Now, the reason this is important, like I said again, is that with us sitting down, it shortens our hip flexors and shortens our range of motion, which can affect you when you walk, squat, and do movements through life. So it's an easy thing you can do frequently throughout the day to help open up your hips, improve your range of motion, and ultimately relieve you of pain or prevent injury.
All right, thank you, Theresa. There's no excuses. No excuses. We'll be right back. Coming up, there are